If you're seeing this video, then this is your Tarot Tuesday message. Hello, welcome. My name is Lara. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here, welcome in. Get settled, and we're going to take a look at the next 7 days, the week ahead, okay? So we have one of these that comes out every week on Tuesdays, and what we do is just kind of talk about what's going on energetically. We're going to use some oracle cards. We're going to use some tarot cards. We may talk a little bit about the astrology, but yeah, it's been interesting on my end, to say the least. How did your week go? Oh my goodness. Everything's still very much TBD, but weirdly, I'm happy. Anyway, so welcome in. If you've been here before, you kind of know how all this goes, but we're going to look at the week ahead. This is really the energy that we are all swimming under. So we'll talk about the astrology. This particular video is for the week of June 3rd through June 9th. So if you're finding this video and it's at some point within this week, you can think about what you've gone through over this time period. Maybe you're finding this and this is the next 7 days coming up for you. Maybe you're finding this and you're nowhere near where we are in the space-time continuum as I'm making this video. That's also okay, because time is not linear. So whatever themes, energies, patterns, whatever's coming up, you can trust that this message is finding you when you need to find it. You know what is right for you. This is a general reading, so maybe not everything is going to be super specific to your situation, but we're talking about an overall theme, pattern, energetic sort of atmosphere that we're moving through. All right. So wherever you are in space and time, take what you like, take what resonates, take what makes sense. Anything else you don't need, you don't have to take with you. You are the one who's going to know best. I don't know anything about what's going on with you unless you tell me. I mean, I might have an idea because I'm going to look at the cards, but we're all in this together, okay? You know your situation best. You know yourself best. I encourage all of us to listen to our intuition, use your own brain, okay? And, hopefully there's something here that brings some insight or some clarity on the way for you. So that's all I can hope for. And that's literally why I'm here. So yeah, we'll talk about the astrology. We've got the oracle, we've got the tarot, and yeah, also, no, I think that's it. I thought I skipped something. I don't think I did. It doesn't matter when you're seeing this video. And it's general. So you know what's best for you. Okay, great. I think I covered it all. Anyway. Yes. So since I did that, let's just dive into it. All right. Astrologically speaking, I'm not too abreast as to what exactly is happening. We are in between the new moon that we just had in Gemini. Welcome, Gemini season. Gemini is such a fun energy. It is, it is the twins. It is duality. It is fun energy. We also just entered Pride Month, which is so much about standing in your authenticity and just really like living in a place of radical joy as an act of rebellion. So June is always, for me, a fun, interesting month just because of those things. But Gemini energy, heavy Gemini energy. Where I live in the world, it's just now feeling like summer. We had a very, very rainy spring. It did not feel very springy. And now the weather is finally so nice. But yeah, so summer is here. It's ready to play, and so is our Gemini energy. The Gemini new moon we just had, and we're in between where we have the upcoming full moon in Sagittarius. That's like maybe a week away. So that's really going to be energy that's more for next week, but it is going to be at the end of this week. I think it's June 12th, if I'm remembering correctly. It's around that time. So so it's not coming this week, but it will be coming up pretty soon. Everything else, I mean, there's a lot of activity. Just 2025 has been crazy, even astrologically speaking. And I anticipate that more will be revealed as far as that is concerned. So welcome Gemini season, Gemini energy, fun summer. Okay. June 1st, and I am reborn anew. Okay. I'm queer every day of the year, but June 1st, literally, it's like you pop out of the box like a Jack in the Box. So there's a lot of that energy that's coming through for me right now. We'll see what the cards have to say about it. Other than that, I'm not really sure what exactly that. I mean, Saturn has just moved into Aries, which is significant because Saturn stays in signs for a long time. It's just moved out of Pisces into Aries. So especially as far as like rules and restrictions and things like that, that's very Saturnian energy. This is coming out of the Pisces energy, which is very dreamy and watery, and it's not like a solid state, into this Aries energy. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So Aries is I am energy, but I am in the sense that like a child or a young person is learning who they are, right? So we have this interesting opportunity to be sort of rebuilding our Saturn rules and foundations and things in this way that is supporting a very free and independent energy that is Aries. You would think that Saturn and Aries didn't really go well together, but I think it's going to be really interesting. And I'm certainly experiencing that for myself. I'm literally redoing my schedule. Like, how do I schedule my life so that I have space to be who I am? Because that's really, really important. Like, there's certain things I need in my week, like idle time and creative time, that when I don't have that, and I have not made that a priority in the earlier part of my life, and I suffer because of it. And there's a lot of things around it, because like, how do you create from a place of scarcity and survival, right? How do you create from a place where you don't feel safe? But these are all sort of like, the Saturn energy with the sort of rules is like, okay, like let's create a very intentional space and a structure where this is safe. You are safe to be who you are. You are free in this sort of container. So that's kind of what I'm picking up on. Who knows if that's correct? Again, I'm not the astrologer. I am astrologically informed, but that is less of my wheelhouse. Okay, I know a little bit about it, but if you want a fuller report, I mean, you can drop it down in the comments and I can like give you suggestions, people that I sort of like look to for my forecasts. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. I'm kind of like, let's just get into it and see what the cards have to say. How do you feel? You feel good about that? Okay. So we'll just do what we do best. Let's do I've got my Oracle of Mystical Moments here. And let's go ahead and ask the cards, what would you like to show us as far as the theme and the vibe of the week? Can we get a little clue to guide us in? What energy is here that we're going to be working with? There she is. Oh, wait, I love this. Okay, wait, lots of garden energy on the bottom of the deck. We have rose garden, which is so beautiful. I love those colors there. But also, the card that's come out for us is the butterfly garden. Isn't that so pretty? So my first thoughts are how delicate butterflies are, but also the idea of the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, reemerging, feeling reborn. Okay, but there's also a lot of stillness here, right? With this butterfly on her head, she's got to stay very still, right? Let's see what the book has to say about it. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not. She's also I think she's considerate here, but she's also, she's looking towards what's happening here without even actually being able to see it. Does that make sense? Let's see what the book's got to say. All right. These ones can be a little abstract. Curiosity, discovery, small moments in life. A woman holds a blooming flower in her hand as she gazes towards the sky. On her head sits a butterfly, closely examining the purple petals. Enjoying the situation, the woman stands still and quietly soaks in her surroundings. She does not want to disturb the scene. In our daily life, there are so many possible moments that could be precious if we would just take the time to notice them. So I was stillness, okay? She's noticing. Okay. Be mindful of your surroundings and pay attention. Ask, why is that there? Then make connections. Small observations can lead to great discoveries. So I also feel like if there's signs or synchronicities that are coming in for you, are you still enough? Are you paying attention enough to be seeing what's coming in? Butterflies also signify change and transformation. And I'm picking up on that a lot as well, just for myself personally, the signs that I'm getting, like huge. Like there's been a centipede in my house, and I opened my door literally on June 1st after like the bottom fell out of the old plan that I had in place. And I opened my front door. I can barely see it because there's carpet in my hallway, but the centipede is like literally dead at the threshold. And I was like, that's a pretty big one. I actually need to lay him to rest, but he's, so are you paying attention? A lot of paying attention too is slowing down and being still. Okay. So I feel too that this week we're going to be slowing down. Which, if you're here and you're connected to this energy, this is probably well-deserved. Something probably just blew open last week. We had a weird reading last week. And yeah. This week I feel is going to be a little bit slower paced. Okay, let's see what our spicy oracle has to say about it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. So we have, so what if I did? And oh, the anticipation. I mean, so what if I did? Oh, the anticipation. There's something here about creating space and stillness around where you're going. It's been difficult for you to move forward on whatever it is. You are there's a lot of anticipation around it. I would even say like anticipation and anxiety around it. This week, though, it feels like we're really unpacking that anxious anticipation as we get curious, right? Curiosity here. As we get curious about, I mean, so what if I did? Like, what if I did the thing that you've been wanting to do for a long time? This could be something that's been weeks, months, years. Like, and you keep talking about it and you're like, so what if I did? And I think that's the ping pong back and forth. That's what's creating the anticipation, because there's all this like what if feelings. And I think this week we will be getting really curious about not just the idea of like, what if I did, but also the anticipation. The anticipation, the anxiety is there to show you something. It's telling you something. It's trying to communicate. Okay. Does that make sense? I'm also sort of feeling like there's this like circle, this spiral that you've been spiraling and spinning. And like, I mean, so what if I did? But there's anticipation about whatever this is you're starting, and that has kept you from starting at all. I think that makes sense. Okay, let's see what we've got with the tarot, shall we? Shall we? We shall. Okay, thank you so much for all of these. Could we please have 3 cards to show us what kind of energy we're going to be walking through? Ooh, 1, 2, thank you. And can we do one more? Just one more, please. There it is. Thank you. Oh, weird. Okay, that's a lot, but I'm going to roll with it. We'll see how it goes. Mm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. Wow. Okay. So let's start with our shadow cards. Our shadow cards are at the bottom of the deck. These represent our subconscious. So whether or not you're aware of this energy, this is the energy that is driving not just this situation, but every situation in your life. Okay. Because all of these patterns and themes repeat themselves in every area of our life. Okay, we have the world in reverse. So there's a huge shift. There's a chapter closing out one chapter, stepping into something new, and you've been really resistant to make this move. I think part of that is because the sun card is right behind it. This is just like radiating positivity, confidence, innocence, happiness, okay, joy. There's still something that's keeping you from fully stepping into your power, your sovereignty, your individual space. This is solar plexus energy. And while Leo typically is the zodiac for this, the sun, solar plexus and the sun is still the I am. And think about it. Everything revolves around the sun. So now we've got that I am emerging, here with this energy, but you're really not, I don't know if you're not ready or you're just not willing to step through, because stepping through into your power, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So, the Queen of Cups as well. Again, now we're talking about tapping in even into even more power. This I'm really sensing as like your energetic power. This is your emotional power. The Queen of Cups is highly psychic. She is in tune. She knows how to let those emotions inform her, and she is very emotionally aware. And yet there is this surrender within her. She's not controlling the emotions. She's making space for them to move through. This is like really big energy. And in claiming this power here, the Five of Swords is, I think this is really letting go of what you've lost. Like healing from these situations where you feel like maybe you've been cut out or have been cut off from certain things or opportunities. Almost as if, that's like what's throwing things off balance. There's still, with the Temperance card in reverse, there's still some imbalance here. The word resentment is coming up. I feel like that's what is happening here. Yeah. And the ways in which you're holding yourself back from broadening your horizons. So, that's really what is keeping you out of balance. Not being able to let this go. Because then you actually have to take responsibility of the who you are, the real you, who you are, which is this. Okay, give me 1 second. Interestingly enough, the card that fell was our first card, and when I picked it back up off the floor, she's upright. Okay. So that's also giving me an indication that the energy is shifting. Whatever resistance you have been met with, I think there's some sort of point, some threshold that you cross where you're just like, it's no longer worth it to not step into who I am. Okay, and that's what's underneath the surface here. So as far as what that looks like with our week, well, first of all, We have the Empress in reverse. So I feel like we're really being called to heal. Giving ourselves the nurturing that we need at this time. You've been hurt. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just like feeling it. Okay. Okay, this is why we are curious. This is why we've had the anticipation. There's like, whatever way you have been dimming your light, this is stillness and curiosity this week, I think, is going to bring the levity, okay? It looks like there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable stuff to be dealt with this week. It's here for a reason, because you can't take this with you if you want to step through to the next phase, okay? You are going to need space and time to heal yourself, nurture yourself, self-love, okay? When I say it's this, first of all, we've got the butterfly imagery for transformation, stillness, curiosity, paying attention. And then we have our spicy oracle, which is saying, I mean, so what if I did? Oh, the anticipation. There's a lot of anxiety around you fully expressing and standing in your authenticity. This week is the week that we're dealing with it. A lot of it too, I think you're the one who's going to know more than me. With the Three of Cups, there have been a lot of relationships around you, community that you have not felt supported by, that has really hurt you in a way where you do not feel safe to be you. And I think that's some of where this anxious anticipation is coming from, because it's like, I mean, so what if I did? So what if I stepped fully into myself? But that anticipation is like, it's never been safe. And I'm right there with you. And I think this week is, with the Hanged Man, it's going to be super uncomfortable, but that's a part of it. Okay. You have to feel this discomfort because you have to acknowledge it. There's pieces of you that are coming up to be healed within this energy around these connections. And I want to say they're former connections, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're people that are still actively in your life. Maybe it's a combination of both. Either way, it's incredibly uncomfortable. I think there's going to be a lot of resistance to it. The resistance is a part of the process. And a lot of times I think that people forget that, and I certainly have, that resistance, like when you're feeling resistant to something, like, oh, like I just did, especially with your inner work, the resistance is a part of it, because resistance is also telling you something. So what is this resistance telling you? Because we had 2 extra cards come out. We got a lot of cards this week. Yeah, I'm just really picking up on this, like, fear of support, fear of safety. Like it's not safe to be who you are. And that makes you feel very vulnerable. Again, we've got the imagery of dimming our light, the Queen of Wands here. This is like similar energy to this. But the way that, like, this is here, this is you, this is just underneath the surface for you. But you don't feel, or you haven't felt, that there was anyone there to celebrate you for who you were. And this is why it's going to be uncomfortable. Because I think at the end of it, it's the I am. You know, who cares if no one else gets it or appreciates it? You have to for yourself. And you have to move away from these spaces where you're not being supported in being who you are. So with the Empress, I think we got her in reverse last week too. I can't remember. Heavy self-care. Take it super duper easy this week. Rest. Stay curious, okay? Don't be afraid of the feelings, the resistance to push the uncomfortable feelings away. Feeling uncomfortable just in the resistance. You know, this is like, what are the reasons that you don't want to be looking at this? And they're valid. They're all valid, but this is really about healing that part of you that was never safe or free to be who you are. But in order for you to move forward, you have to embrace who that is. Even if you don't know it. And who that is going to change. It's not meant to stay the same. But do you have the structure and the support around you to let yourself be vulnerable, to let yourself be who you are? I think there's something to be said about when we make the decision to step into our authenticity. It's not something that just like, oh, like all of a sudden I'm just going to be who I am unapologetically. Like, this also takes time and it also takes practice. For a lot of us, for those of us who are, you know, some of us are dealing with like codependency on a very deep level. It's a programming that you have to rewire within yourself. And everything in your body may be like, no. Okay. But that's because you're used to maybe these connections and things taking your energy, dimming your light. Okay. It is not doing you any favors here. It's only holding you back. So I think this week we're really going to be identifying, and even if these people, places, things are not in your life anymore, the resentment is still strong enough. That's what's being worked out. Okay. So another easy does it week. Okay. Be so kind to yourself, please. And I will do the same, because we should be here. We should be expressing ourselves fully and surrounded by people who genuinely support that, who aren't asking us to be something different. If you want me to be something different, go find something else. you know? Or wait 5 minutes, I'll be different. But because it's me, not because I'm changing for you, right? So how are we changing this energy here into this energy here and really flourishing and thriving? Okay. Does that make sense? Again, next 7 days, we'll see where it takes us. So, but that's what I'm picking up on. I hope this made sense for you. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, whatever the things. You can leave a comment down below. Let me know how it goes. I love to hear from you all. And yeah, I think, again, it's hard to get curious and play when you don't feel safe to be you. Yeah. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's enough said. And let me know how it goes. I am here with you, walking through these same portals, walking through the same energy. And more is always going to be revealed. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. We will also have a full moon reading by around that time next week. So you can keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, take care of yourself. Love yourself. Give it all back to you right now. Okay. And as per usual, I will see you on the other side.